What if you conceptually took Inception and applied it to a survival crafting game? Would you have to go deeper? How deeper could you go? Watch on and find out. My name is Thoraxe, and this is Strategy for Busy People. If you've got a few minutes, I'll tell you what to play. We're back poking at the survival crafting genre here on Strategy for Busy People, and this time we're looking at AETHUS by Cosmonaut Games. I've got to tick over 10 hours into this cozy crafter. Now, for being an indie game from a solo dev who is also their own publisher, I gotta say that I am really impressed, whether or not I like this game in the end. Sure, it's low poly, but it somehow manages to look super visually interesting across all the different biomes in spite of that fact. Just a touch of lighting and the right colors and things are really great. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, aren't we? So, at its core, this is just a mining game. No, it's not a suckfest like Deep Rock Galactic was for me, but it's still essentially just about rocks. The backstory is that your grandpa was a miner and you decide to save your pennies and go back to his old mining claim because you don't want to work for the evil big mining corporation anymore, except that you quickly find out that you're basically still working for the evil big mining corporation because you have to buy all your upgrades and tech from them. As you start to try to uncover your dear old grandpa's stories, you uncover deeper and deeper levels of this mining claim that expose you to effectively new biomes and things. But the core game loop is, more or less, find a new type of rock that you have to process into a new type of processed rock, because that new type of processed rock is involved in some crafting thing that you need to craft to continue the progression of the story. I mentioned earlier that this is a survival crafting game, but I also mentioned that it's cozy. And the coziness comes from the fact that the only real survival pressure is not running out of air underground, and the default behavior is that hydration and food status don't even cause any problems when they zero out. So, unless you manually turn on those options, the game is just a pretty laid-back and chill exploration title. There are not really any puzzles in the game other than trying to do the mathematics on how many of one thing you need to build so that you can build the other thing, but there are some secrets that you uncover, like passcodes to storage boxes that do not change. And as this is essentially a story-driven crafting game, the map doesn't change either, with one small exception. Resources in the game are finite, so as your little mining droid companion pummels some resource node, it vanishes. But like most good crafting games, there is some quantity of resource renewal. The way that AETHUS handles this is via an earthquake mechanic. Earthquakes are generally random, but minor spoiler alert, you will discover and/or purchase the plans to be able to construct a machine that will cause earthquakes, so you'll be able to strip mine an area and then cause an earthquake to immediately be able to go back to that area to strip mine it. Now, that sounds a bit grindy, and for your benefit, the game also has a cargo drone and drill site mechanic too. This involves equipping a drilling site with the right equipment in the form of a drilling thing, like a drill bit and a cargo drone. The cargo drone can automatically bring raw materials back to your base, to your cargo pod, which definitely makes the grind much less, but if you're an idiot like me, the game will happily gift you the mining equipment you need, and then you'll absent-mindedly sell it at the trading post to get some credits to use for upgrades or whatever, and then realize you could have used that equipment at a newly discovered drill site, and now you end up having to grind a bunch of mining that you could have gotten for free if you had just not sold that drilling equipment. So, anyway. The game loop here is that you explore a little, find a way to go deeper, uncover some of the story, uncover a drilling site, and then have to do some kind of base expansion and crafting station construction to continue the plot of the story, which conveniently involves the new materials and/or new drill site you just uncovered. Hey, before I give my final verdict, if this is your first episode, this one's free. But if you've watched me before, we're going to make an agreement. You help me level up by clicking subscribe, and I'll keep making these videos. I'll spend the time playing the games and making content that I hope you'll like, and you'll return the favor, okay? Leave comments, tell me what you think. It's all good. You just agree to engage. That's all I ask. The final verdict. Now, even if you don't absent-mindedly sell off the precious drilling equipment, the game does have some grindy bits. I found the navigation of the underground biome somewhat frustrating because they were kinda maze-like, even with the compass. I would have preferred an actual map, even if it was low fidelity, to help me remember which way to go. There was a lot of aimless wandering that was unpleasant, and it was definitely rather grindy to have to move raw and processed materials around to all the different processing stations. It would have been nice to have some level of automation for that, but whether they took direction right from grounded or not, it was super nice that resources in your storage anywhere in your outpost were accessible at crafting stations. On my trademark 3-point score scale of avoid, meh, and I forgot to eat, it's a survival crafting game, so you know there was food to eat. And while it was predominantly grilled cactus or mushroom soup, there was an opportunity to get fish. I didn't avail myself of any of the pescatarian fare, but I did enjoy the heck out of my time with this game. And it was a struggle to pull myself away from its very rewarding game loop and interesting storytelling. Alas, my time underground needed to come to an end, so I headed off to the surface and off to the local Mexican joint, because all the cactus in this game left me fiending for a molcajete with nopales.